Blood-soaked, the Wah Mee Club was a name that would forever be etched in the memory of Seattle's Chinatown International District. Once a high-stakes gambling establishment, it would become the site of the deadliest mass murder in the state's history. February 19, 1983 was a night of horror when two young men, Quan Phi, Willie Mack, and Benjamin Ung, shattered the peace of the bustling neighborhood. They had come to rob the club, but what they left behind was a scene of unimaginable carnage. The night had started out just like any other. Mack and his accomplice Wai Chu Tony Ung had entered the club, dined, and mingled with the patrons. Tony continued to usher more and more people inside, while Benjamin stayed hidden. It was only when Benjamin barged in, yelling "Hands up!" that the unsuspecting victims realized the gravity of the situation. Ordered to lie down on the floor, everyone was at the mercy of the robbers. Tony and Benjamin went on to plunder wallets, a woman's purse, and the club's cash register. But that wasn't enough. With a cold, calculated ruthlessness, they began to shoot the victims, who lay helpless and bound. The sound of gunfire echoed throughout the neighborhood as Mack and Benjamin unleashed a hail of bullets on the unsuspecting patrons. The security guard was not spared either, and the barrage of bullets only ceased when the gunmen ran out of ammunition. In the end, 13 lives were snuffed out, and only one person survived. Wai Yok Chin was bound and tied, yet managed to slip under a gambling table during the gunfire. Although wounded, he managed to escape after the killers had fled. He was the only witness to the massacre and would later testify against the perpetrators. The victims were fathers, mothers, and grandparents, whose families would never be the same again. The news of the massacre sent shockwaves throughout the tight-knit community, and the tragedy would forever leave a scar on the fabric of the neighborhood. Justice was eventually served, and the killers were caught and convicted. Benjamin was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, while Mack was initially given the death penalty, which was later commuted to life in prison without parole. Tony, who had fled to Canada, was eventually captured, tried, and sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. The Wah Mee Club was shut down after the massacre, its doors padlocked, and its walls echoing with the ghosts of those who lost their lives. A fire would eventually destroy the west side of the building, and the owner would demolish what remained. But out of the ashes of tragedy, a new hope would arise. An affordable housing unit would be built in its place, a tribute to the lives that were lost, and a symbol of the resilience of the human spirit.